Why don't you just let my daughter and her friends use your things? Is it because you people don't know how to share what you haven't earned? Now you want to talk about a line that sticks with you. That was the sentence screamed from the edge of my yard on a late summer night that finally broke the dam. Not the sideways glances when I moved in, not the petty HOA notes about my trash can sitting out too long, not even the fake smiles at the mailbox. It was that moment right under the soft glow of my porch lights when the mask finally came off. Let me back up a sec. It was Saturday, one of those evenings where the air's warm, but you can already feel autumn poking its head in. I'd just finished a week working 12-hour days on a project for a client who thought every email was an emergency. My brain was fried, my patience thinner than a pool cover, and all I wanted was to close up my pool, have a cold drink, and enjoy a few hours of peace in the backyard I'd worked my whole life to afford. I was dragging the cover across the water, my mind wandering, when I heard the old side gate squeak. Not my gate, the one connecting my neighbor's yard to mine. Apparently the previous owners were so chummy with the folks next door they built this friendly neighbor gate. It was always on my to-do list to take it down, but you know how that goes. Life happens. So in she comes Brittany, the neighbor's daughter, home from college, wrapped in a pink bikini with a towel slung over one shoulder, the kind of confidence that only comes from never being told no. Two clones trailing behind her, giggling arms full of white claws. Hey there, I say polite but clear. Just closing up for the night, probably the season. You'd think rolling a pool cover over the water would be a universal sign. But Brittany just stares like I'd started speaking Morse code. What do you mean closing it? We were going to have a girls' night. She's holding up a tote like it's her golden ticket. Her friends already looking at me like I'm the Grinch. I kept my cool, kept rolling that cover. Sorry. My property, my pool, and I'm done for the night. You'll have to find somewhere else. I hoped that would be enough, but nope. Brittany lets out this Oscar-worthy scoff. You can't be serious. We use this pool all the time. The old owners never cared. And there it is. The old owners. The idea that everything in this house was still theirs. And my name on the deed was just a technicality. But I just shook my head and said, well, I'm not the old owners. I care. That's when things escalated. The three of them started murmuring, calling me creepy and unfair. Then Brittany started shouting for her mom. I'm thinking, okay, tomorrow I'll wake up to another snotty HOA note or maybe a snarky Facebook post. Nope. 5 minutes later, out comes the queen herself, Scarlett. Yoga pants, power walk, and a face like she's auditioning for a villain role. No hello, no what's going on. Just that opening line. Why don't you just let my daughter and her friends use your things? Is it because you people don't know how to share what you haven't earned? It hung in the air, thick as the humidity, all the ugly weight of what she really meant. I just stood there, pool net in hand, staring her down. I knew in that instant my quiet evening was over. Hell, my quiet life in that neighborhood might be over. She wanted me to lose my cool, to yell and give her a story to tell, maybe even to prove her right. But I just kept my voice flat. Are you finished? Silence. You could hear the crickets, the filter humming, her jaw clenching. Brittany, seeing her mom hesitate, jumped in. He's being unfair, Mom. He won't let us use the pool. Scarlett drew herself up and started waving her hands, listing all the reasons why I had no right to change everything. And here's where the twist comes in. Her husband, Richard, is a lawyer. That's her trump card. My husband will make sure this is dealt with. We have an agreement about the pool. You're new here. You don't know how things work. It was all about power, about making me feel like the outsider, the problem. But I had receipts. Was it in writing? I asked. Because I read every line of that deed, and there's no clause saying I'm supposed to be the neighborhood's lifeguard. Brittany whips out her phone, starts recording me like she's about to send it to TMZ. I actually grinned. Go ahead. Make sure you get my good side and don't forget you're trespassing after being asked to leave. That finally made them storm off, but Scarlett hissed, my husband's a very good lawyer. You haven't heard the last of this. And she was right. I woke up Sunday to a storm of notifications. Brittany had posted a heavily edited photo of me blurry and menacing with a caption about how unsafe she felt because the new neighbors screamed at us and kicked us out. Cue the virtual mob. So sorry, Brittany. This is unacceptable. He always seemed off. And then, like clockwork, Scarlett jumps in with more lies about my history of aggression and how her husband is looking into my background. Yeah, that happened. But here's the thing, I didn't fight back in the comments. I screenshotted everything. Every threat, every slander, every friend who tried to pile on, because I knew where this was heading. Sure enough, Monday at 9:01 a.m. sharp, my phone rings. It's Richard full courtroom voice putting me on notice about my hostile actions and threatening to dig up every technicality from the fence line to my floodlights to make my life hell. But I'd done my homework. Just so you know, Richard, this is a one-party consent state and I'm recording this call. Any further communication goes through my lawyer. The line went quiet. He knew he'd slipped up, and he knew I wasn't bluffing. My lawyer, Ben, was ex-military, quiet, surgical, and ruthless in the best way. By the next day, he'd already drafted a cease and desist, filed a formal HOA harassment complaint, and quietly contacted Richard's law firm partners, hinting at the scandal brewing. We mailed everything certified cameras, rolling timeline airtight. And for 2 days it was silent as a grave next door. But I knew it was just the eye of the storm. By Wednesday, the HOA set a formal hearing. Now, if you've never been in an HOA meeting, picture the world's most awkward family dinner, but everyone's got a stack of bylaws instead of mashed potatoes. Richard showed up all smiles and handshakes, working the board like he owned the place while his wife and daughter performed for the sympathy vote, Scarlett sniffling, Brittany dabbing fake tears. But facts are stubborn things. I let Ben handle the talking, ran the PowerPoint security footage screenshots, audio from the phone call, evidence of trespass slander, and their low-level campaign of harassment, early morning lawn crews, malfunctioning sprinklers, noise, you name it. Every piece lined up neat as a row of dominoes. When we played Richard's phone call, the whole room went silent. Scarlett denied everything until confronted with her own words on screen. Their defense unraveled. The board didn't deliberate. They handed down max fines, mandated a public apology on Facebook, and put the family on probation. I can't describe the look on Richard's face, a lawyer who'd just had the law turned against him. But it wasn't over. The next month was a Cold War. Silent stares, no more parties. Their house turned from social hub to haunted mansion. The apology was brutal, their reputation in tatters. I finally had peace, but it felt fragile, like the air right after a thunderstorm. Then one night Richard came to the fence wrench in hand and without a word started taking down that stupid gate. My firm heard about the hearing. He muttered, voice broken, "I'm on leave." Brought shame to the practice. He didn't look at me, just finished the job and left. The next morning a solid fence went up. No more shortcuts, no more neighborly entitlement. That was the real end. Scarlett and Brittany shrank from public life. Rumors swirled. He was forced out. She was shunned. Brittany's school found out and she didn't return. My victory wasn't in their downfall, but in my peace restored. A few months later, the house went up for sale. The morning they moved, Scarlett looked at me, bitterness and defeat all over her face. "I hope you're happy," she spat. I told her, because I earned this. I'll always protect it. A new family moved in. Respectful, friendly, happy with their own yard. The fence wasn't just wood and nails anymore. It was the boundary I'd fought for. The story of the pool war became local legend, but it changed things. The HOA rewrote the bylaws, Ben joined the board, and later so did I. People learned that respect, not entitlement, is the only thing that really makes a neighborhood work. You know, the truth is, you can't control how others see you. All you can do is set your boundaries and stand your ground with calm, with facts, and with a little faith that sooner or later justice will land where it's supposed to. So if you've ever dealt with entitled neighbors, HOA drama, or someone trying to rewrite your story, drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, what would you have done? Where do you draw the line between being a neighbor and being a pushover? And if you've ever had to fight for your peace, was it worth it in the end? Let me know down below. And don't forget, sometimes the best thing you can build isn't a fence or a pool, but a line in the sand that says, "This is mine, and I've earned every bit of it."